can come back 6 months later and account about it.
So
and then those councillors then went into council, even when we say that they should not go into council. And then we then say that that constitutes misconduct in terms of the code of revolutionary discipline in the EFF. And then we gave them an opportunity in the NDC to present their case. They never showed any remorse. And the DC then reached the conclusion that they no longer deserve to be disciplined members of the EFF, and then expelled them. The necessity that said 2 days ago expelled them from the organization, meaning that they will be withdrawn from the municipality.
Thank you for that fulsome explanation. Can I ask you this?
Yes.
They say that they went to council. The ANC presented exactly the budget that the EFF has always fought for and always wanted. Electrification of rural settlements, formalization of so-called squatter camps, extension of clinic operating hours, bursaries for poor students. All these things, they say, all of these things are the things we've wanted. And boom, the ANC, we've made them do it as the EFF, and you kick them out for following and supporting a pro-poor budget for the poor people of Mohale City.
That is a very minute mechanical explanation of what happened. Like any councillor who doesn't have proper political consciousness will believe the lies of the ANC at the local state. They do not understand a simple fact that the ANC is one organization that has been telling our people the same lies in terms of budgeting. You remember from 1994, 1999, 2004. So all those lies. The reason why we took a political decision as the EFF to reject the ANC is because the ANC has been misleading our people. And you must remember that those councillors of the EFF were voted into by a huge majority of the people of Mohale City who say that we are done with the ANC because it has been governing for the past 23 years, 22 years. And they have not delivered all of
it. You don't agree with them that there was a budget on the table
it was not,
that achieved what you had been calling for in
possibly the budgets before even that one were even much more progressive in terms of rhetoric than what they say they voted for. Because the ANC always does that. After every elections, they come with what looks like progressive and pro-poor budgets. But when it comes to implementation, it's not the case. That is why we took a political decision that none of our public representatives must vote for an ANC government. And when members of the EFF define themselves outside of that political mandate, we have to take action as the EFF.
But then you took action when Mongameli Bobani of the UDM, who's not your member, doesn't have to account to you, but Mongameli Bobani in the Nelson Mandela Bay municipality went and voted with the very same ANC that you have just lambasted now. And when the DA mayor there, Athol Tolip, told him, my guy, you're not following the prescripts of what we agreed on, you then said, Tshwane, Joburg, elsewhere, we're not doing this with you anymore.
I think, again, we're operating on misinformation and on media. But we never said that we're withdrawing our participation in Tshwane and Johannesburg because of Bobani. Who is Bobani to us? He's nothing to us.
Yes, but he did it because of the problems in Nelson Mandela Bay.
No, that is not the case. We never. We raised a broad issue about the DA's lack of consultation. And lack of consultation also manifested itself in Nelson Mandela Bay. We said that in terms of the budgeting process in Johannesburg, in Tshwane, in Modimolle Mookgophong, in Tabazimbi.
Was there lack of consultation in Tshwane?
Of course there was. That is why we then said to all the hung municipalities, it was not only the 3 metros, by the way, it was in all the hung municipalities in Modimolle Mookgophong. We said to our councillors that do not attend until we have found a framework of how the DA should respect all the parties that took it to power.
So it's okay for you to have a mandate that you set your councillors by, but it's not okay when the DA says, for our partners, we have a mandate, we have an agreement, please can we stick to that agreement? And Mongameli Bobani does his own thing, and you punish them for that.
I think you're comparing apples and bananas, and it's a sad comparison because it's not the same thing. Like, we're talking about discipline of the organization in the manner in which we said, let's allow Mohale City the voters of Mohale City to constitute a government that will be accountable for the entire 5-year term, instead of changing governments from time to time. And coincidentally, there was an issue, a broad outcry from our councillors who are serving in the Hang municipalities that was saying that the DA is behaving in an arrogant way, and it must be taught that they never won elections in 2016. They must always seek to consult their coalition partners who don't care whether they do that, but they must consult the EFF because we're the ones who hold the key to them occupying those positions that they're occupying now.
3 quick questions because we've run out of time. Can
Yes.
I ask you, what exactly is your strategy in terms of these current partnerships? Are you going to still be working with, I know you're not in alliance with the DA, working with the DA in some of these municipalities?
Look, we have taken a CC approach, a complementary and contradictory approach. In areas where we agree, we'll say we agree. On areas where we do not agree, we'll tell them that we do not agree. But the DA knows that in majority of the times, they cannot pass the budget, they cannot pass motions without the support of the EFF. So they have to meet us halfway, like they're already doing. Like when we put a motion in Tshwane, in Johannesburg, in Nelson Mandela on the insourcing of municipal workers, particularly security guards and cleaners, which is in our manifesto, they had to accede to that demand because we hold the power to decide where the municipality goes. So they are already deal with.
One last question. You have given President Jacob Zuma the whip in Parliament, outside of Parliament, in the Constitutional Court. What's the next step in that campaign?
Look, Jacob Zuma must step down from power. And we were quite confident that he won't reach 2019. He's an illegitimate president who has failed to uphold, respect, and defend the Constitution. He must be brought down of power because he's not respecting our country. The budget is now completed, it's finished. The state cannot borrow any further money. State-owned companies are collapsing, all of them, because of his wrongful and irresponsible, corrupt-inspired appointments. He must step down as soon as possible and will, of course, continue the pressure to push him out of office, and will achieve that. I can tell you, 2019, Jacob Zuma will not be a president of South Africa.
Floyd Chivambo, always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
After the break, we asked Bonginkosi Madikizela whether the DA can handle its success in the Western Cape. Stay with us.